So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup.
Word on the street is wild. Sean Diddy Combs is reportedly cutting a secret deal with the FBI, and the name he's ready to hand over? Jay-Z. This bombshell is shaking the entire hip-hop world to its core this week. If these leaks are legit, this isn't just about staying out of prison. It's personal payback dressed up as cooperation. Sources say Diddy's pushing for house arrest instead of doing that heavy 50-month sentence behind bars. He's also fighting for a smaller fine and for the pile of lawsuits draining his empire to disappear. But prosecutors didn't just want crumbs, they allegedly demanded something massive in return. They wanted someone bigger, someone closer. And according to multiple insiders, Diddy dropped the unthinkable. He offered up his day one partner, the man he once called his brother, Jay-Z. And to understand just how deep this goes, we gotta rewind to where it all began. Right now, Diddy's locked into a little over 4 years after being convicted in New York for transportation and solicitation charges, and his 2024 trial was absolutely brutal. Prosecutors went all in, accusing him of coercing women into encounters they didn't want. To make it worse, his own recordings came back to haunt him, playing out in court like a horror show for his image. In the middle of it all, he broke down and begged the judge, saying through tears, "I ask your honor for mercy," swearing he'd changed. That apology made national headlines. But fast forward a few months, and people aren't talking about his guilt or his growth anymore. They're talking about his next move. Insiders are now whispering that Diddy's been cutting deals directly with federal agents, handing over evidence, files, and names, all for a shot at leniency. And here's where it gets wild. That same whisper running through the entertainment law scene claims Diddy's convinced Jay-Z was the one who set him up. Sounds crazy, right? But the timeline is starting to make people wonder. Since Diddy's arrest back in September 2024, Jay-Z has stayed completely quiet. No statements, no reactions, nothing. And that silence, it's starting to feel less like caution and more like a calculated move. When the raids hit, Diddy's mansions were torn apart, witnesses lined up, and the FBI painted a dark picture, calling his actions a full-blown pattern of exploitation. But what had everyone talking wasn't just the charges, it was Jay-Z's silence. For decades, these two called each other brothers in public, stood side by side at every major event. Yet when Diddy's world started burning, Jay-Z didn't say a single word. Even 50 Cent jumped in on social media, throwing shade by posting that Jay-Z must be missing since no one could track him down for a comment. That post went viral fast, and the silence around Jay-Z only got louder. Then came the bombshell. Within weeks, both Diddy and Jay-Z were suddenly listed together in an amended civil lawsuit. A woman known only as Jane Doe accused them of taking turns assaulting her at an after-party following the 2000 Video Music Awards. She claimed she was just 13 at the time, had been drugged, and that a famous female celebrity witnessed everything. Jay-Z's team immediately shut it down, calling it a blackmail attempt, while Diddy's lawyers scrambled for damage control as new charges loomed. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. One man sitting behind bars and the other walking free without a scratch. When that old lawsuit suddenly resurfaced after more than 20 years, people close to Diddy say that was the moment everything flipped. From then on, he reportedly started telling his circle that Jay-Z had way more secrets than anyone imagined, and that he wasn't about to take the fall alone. Right around that same time, the spotlight swung back onto Jay-Z's long, unresolved paternity controversies. Two adults, Letitia Messer and a man named Mir Satterwhite, have claimed for years that Jay-Z is their biological father, and both cases have now crawled back into court. Letitia, who's from Maryland, says she grew up hearing that Jay-Z was her father, that her family had introduced her mother to him, and that people in their neighborhood already knew the story. She even posted comparison photos online, insisting the resemblance is too strong for him to ignore. And adding even more heat, singer Hannah Yu, a former friend of Jay-Z, alleged that Jay-Z has been covering the cost of Mir's home in Cambridge, Maryland through a private setup that keeps his name far away from any paperwork. These claims hit the industry hard, and the timing made the whole situation feel even more suspicious. At the same time, Mir Satterwhite, now in his early 30s, is still fighting for a DNA test after more than 10 years of court battles. His late mother, Wanda, stated in an affidavit that she briefly knew Jay-Z back in 1992. but the details she mentioned have been challenged heavily and cannot be presented as verified fact. Jay-Z's legal team says these filings are part of a long-running pattern of pressure, and several courts have already dismissed the case. But every time Jay-Z ends up back in the spotlight, the claims spark up again like they never left. The newest filing, stamped May 2025, accuses Jay-Z's lawyers of blocking progress by saying he had no property in New Jersey, an accusation Jay-Z firmly denies. He's now asking federal judges to shut the case down for good. But to the people inside Diddy's camp, this whole situation looked like vulnerability, the kind of secret they believe could be used as leverage if things ever went bad. To understand why this mattered so much to Diddy's inner circle, you have to look at how deep their bond once ran. Back in 1997, right after losing their mutual friend Biggie Smalls, Diddy put Jay-Z on his album No Way Out, and Jay-Z returned the love by featuring him on In My Lifetime, Volume 1. Their careers were rising, their reputations were fierce, and their names stayed linked in every major room. 2 years later, both men faced legal trouble. Diddy was involved in the infamous nightclub incident with Jennifer Lopez, while Jay-Z took a plea deal after an altercation with producer Lance Rivera. Instead of pulling them apart, the shared chaos actually locked them in tighter as industry brothers. By 2005, they were standing together again, donating a massive $1 million to support communities hit by Hurricane Katrina. Their connection wasn't just professional. It was history, loyalty, and survival, at least until everything changed. By 2009, Diddy was calling Jay-Z his black brother during interviews, swearing their bond was unbreakable and that any rivalry only existed for outsiders. In 2020, at the Rock Nation Black Billionaire Brunch, Diddy even raised a toast in front of the industry's elite saying, "We're here together and staying together. We're getting tighter and united we stand." Jay-Z stood right beside him, nodding with that calm confidence. The picture-perfect moment of loyalty. But in their world, loyalty can crack fast. After Diddy received his Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards, Jay-Z appeared in the tribute video praising him as an inspiration. Yet things shifted just 1 year later when the first allegations of trafficking hit the headlines. Suddenly, the energy between the two didn't look the same. Jay-Z stayed far away from the chaos. By March 2024, when federal agents raided Diddy's Miami home and 50 Cent's joke about Jay-Z hiding exploded online, millions started wondering the same thing. Why wasn't Jay-Z saying anything? Not a statement, not a gesture of support, not even a casual comment. The silence felt colder each day. Behind the scenes, Diddy took that silence as straight-up betrayal. People inside his circle say he started accusing Jay-Z of passing information to investigators through middlemen, a rumor nobody can prove, but one that spread fast through entertainment circles, legal offices, and gossip blogs because of how deep their history ran. Once you understand how tight their bond used to be, the idea of one turning on the other hit the industry like a shockwave. And then December 2024 hit, the moment the amended civil suit listed both Diddy and Jay-Z together, and everything reportedly blew apart. One of Diddy's associates told a reporter that he snapped, saying that was the point where he stopped holding back and started talking straight-up payback. And if these reports are accurate, that payback is now wrapped in cooperation. What Diddy allegedly put on the table for the FBI wasn't just paperwork. It was stories, messages, timelines, and behind-the-scenes details that investigators described as connecting Jay-Z to what one agent supposedly referred to as the same network of enablers. For investigators who've struggled for years to link powerful public figures to alleged exploitation, testimony from someone inside those circles would be extremely valuable. And for Diddy, a man who's already lost his freedom, his companies, and a massive piece of his reputation, revenge might be the only card he believes he has left to play. To understand just how personal this might be for him, we have to dig up another thread that's been whispered about for years: the women who move within both of their social circles. Diddy's relationships with Cassie Ventura, Kim Porter, and others have been public for a long time. And Jay-Z, of course, is married to Beyonce. But insiders claim that before that marriage and even after, the social overlap between their circles was messy and unpredictable. People close to Diddy say he once told friends that Jay-Z had been involved with several of the same women he was connected to, a detail that added even more tension behind the scenes and fed into the quiet rivalry nobody wanted to admit out loud. Insiders have whispered for years that one of Jay-Z's past relationships overlapped with a time when Diddy's partner was pregnant, and that this discovery supposedly sparked a private feud between them. There's no confirmed evidence supporting that claim, but tabloids love the idea that personal tension can push public decisions, and that rumor kept resurfacing like smoke with no clear fire. If that version of events were true, then Diddy's alleged cooperation with federal agents wouldn't just be business. It would feel like emotional payback. The storyline taking shape behind the scenes paints Diddy as someone who believes he was taken down by a man he once shared his closest secrets with. And now he wants to turn the whole situation around. Legal analysts describe this kind of move as exchanging personal history for protection. What Diddy might actually have to offer is still a mystery. Some believe it could involve financial paperwork tied to Roc Nation, while others think it might be connected to old incidents at industry events both men attended in the late 90s and early 2000s, including those famous white party gatherings that people are now re-examining with fresh attention.
So why should I care? He did a whole lot of shit to a whole lot of people, and now he's paying for it. So all these cats, I guess y'all get y'all visitation rights. Some of y'all can get y'all conjugal visits right with him. I don't give a.
And Jay-Z, his strategy remains pure silence. The same quiet stance he kept during Diddy's downfall. He's still showing up at major industry functions, but he's dodging every question about the lawsuits and anything tied to Diddy's situation. His legal team is juggling motions to dismiss the paternity filings, responding to inquiries connected to the Jane Doe civil case, and keeping his business interests under Roc Nation moving without interruption. The distance between the two men has never looked wider, and every new headline only sharpens the divide. Beyoncé has stayed completely removed from the drama, keeping her focus on her tour and her family. And that calm focus stands in total contrast to the chaos circling around Diddy. Her steady presence only adds to the growing belief that one man ended up carrying the weight, while the other walked away untouched. Their long history makes these whispers of betrayal even harder for people to wrap their heads around. After Biggie passed, Diddy played a major role in shaping Jay-Z's early image, giving him shine when the industry was shifting and the competition was fierce. Later on, Jay-Z returned the support by bringing Diddy into key business plays, treating him like a trusted ally rather than just another industry partner. They stood shoulder to shoulder when hip-hop was under heavy scrutiny, a time when police publicly claimed the culture was fueling violence. Both men faced scandals, both had critics, and both navigated storms that could have ended their careers. Through all of it, Diddy used to introduce Jay-Z as his strategist, the one person he relied on when things got messy. He even said it on stage at the 20th anniversary of Bad Boy Records. "Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. This is my brother." That statement echoed for years, a symbol of unshakable loyalty. But now, that same brother is being named as the centerpiece of Diddy's reported plea deal. A twist so wild it has the entire industry buzzing. And what makes everything even more explosive is the timing. Diddy's next federal trial is set for May 2025, while Jay-Z is still dealing with new legal filings from Mir Satterwhite and facing public questions tied to the civil accusations with no verified evidence behind them. That overlap could look like leverage to prosecutors, but to Diddy, people in his circle say it looks like straight opportunity. Those close to him describe a man locked in on legacy, not just trying to avoid more prison time, but trying to reshape how his entire downfall is remembered. He doesn't want history painting him as the only villain in the room. And insiders claim that if naming Jay-Z helps shift that narrative, Diddy might be willing to go all in. That line some folks quoted, "Y'all don't see the lineup? Oh yeah, no, yeah, we see the lineup," has been floating around online as people try to connect dots that still have no confirmed backing. Behind all the noise sits the biggest question: motive. Why would Jay-Z, one of the strongest names in entertainment, ever move against Diddy if the rumor is even true? One theory circulating in the circles they both once shared is simple self-preservation. The idea is that Jay-Z saw investigations heating up years early and quietly created distance to protect his billion-dollar empire. Another theory, the one floating in darker corners of the industry, claims he might have cooperated to redirect attention from his own public controversies, including those long-running whispers about secret children and old misconduct claims that have never been verified in court. Diddy's side reportedly leans toward that second theory, and that belief is what's driving all this talk about cooperation, a storm that's now dominating headlines, group chats, and every corner of entertainment gossip. The wild part in all this is that both men built their entire public image on loyalty, privacy, and moving smart. Together, they represented a shift from street influence to boardroom power, showing themselves as examples of Black excellence rising above controversy. Their climb through the 90s and 2000s, from chart-topping features to climbing Forbes lists, turned them into symbols of unity. But that unity, it's now cracking apart fast. In just a few months, their long partnership has flipped into what people are calling one of the most intense rifts in modern music history. A feud that could end up unfolding inside a federal courtroom. The next phase will reveal whether all these leaks are strategic moves or just smoke with no real fire. Lawyers close to the situation have hinted that sealed documents exist outlining Diddy's cooperative posture. Reporters hanging around the New York courthouse say they've overheard talk about active negotiations, even though officials won't confirm a thing. What is confirmed, though, is that Diddy's attorneys requested extra time to lock down an agreement, and prosecutors acknowledged his willingness to assist. That line alone is enough to keep speculation spinning nonstop. Now, insiders are saying Diddy has supposedly laid everything out for investigators. Names, spots, timelines, and connections stretching across decades. And the list he allegedly turned in doesn't just point to rivals. It reportedly includes people once considered allies. According to one source briefed on the discussions, the most shocking name on that list isn't an enemy at all. And that detail is what has the whole industry watching every update like a breaking news countdown. The name being whispered as the centerpiece of Diddy's supposed cooperation is the same man he once called his brother.
Jay-Z new video with Nas and DJ Khaled is a scene with his checkerboards. These are all occult Satanists.
Jay-Z. If these rumors are even halfway accurate, this whole situation isn't just about justice or mercy. It's about a power-level betrayal that feels straight out of a documentary. A brotherhood built on fame, money, and silence now looks like it's cracking apart one whispered secret at a time. From that moment on, the whispers around Diddy's circle grew even colder. People close to him claim he started pulling together everything he had. Messages, old stories, and personal notes that he believed connected Jay-Z to social circles that later brought him legal trouble. Some sources even insist these files supposedly mention private arrangements, non-disclosure agreements, and travel logs from the early 2000s, the kind of material tabloids dream about, even though nothing in those rumors has been confirmed by any official source. According to people briefed on the conversations, the narrative Diddy is said to be presenting to investigators is simple and dramatic. That Jay-Z knew what was happening, that he was involved in certain decisions, and that he paid people to keep situations quiet. Again, none of this has been verified, but insiders say the goal behind Diddy's angle isn't just cooperation. It's painting Jay-Z as the mastermind behind his downfall. That's where the alleged revenge turns deeply personal. Several insiders claim Diddy's frustration exploded after hearing chatter that Jay-Z had been connected to multiple women who once moved in Diddy's own circle. One of them, an influencer who reportedly dated both men at different times, is now surrounded by speculation about a child whose paternity has never been publicly confirmed and remains strictly rumor territory. The streets are buzzing, the industry is tense, and every leak makes this feud feel even more explosive. Nobody knows whether that rumor has any real truth behind it, but people who've known Diddy for years say the idea ate at him nonstop. What felt like a business betrayal allegedly shifted into something personal, embarrassing, and impossible for him to ignore while he sat behind bars. According to insiders, he started telling his circle, "If I go down, he's going with me." That line has been repeated so many times that attorneys on both coasts have started treating it as more than just emotional talk. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal freefall hasn't slowed down. He's been convicted, sentenced to more than 4 years, dragged publicly, and dropped from major business collaborations. Jay-Z, on the other hand, hasn't faced any criminal charges. No court dates, no indictments, no sudden legal drama. Just private flights and quiet dinners around New York. The difference between their situations has become too noticeable for the industry to ignore. Some people are now asking a blunt question. Was Diddy punished while Jay-Z stayed protected? And that's where the next wave of speculation hit. The idea that Jay-Z may have spoken to investigators first, giving them just enough information to keep his own name clean while Diddy took the blow. It's only a theory, but Diddy supporters are running with it hard, claiming his new cooperation isn't surrender. It's revenge dressed up as negotiation paperwork. At the same time, a weird psychological chess match seems to be unfolding. Anonymous posts have started popping up online, suggesting Diddy's team has material that could pull Roc Nation into old confidential settlement situations. On top of that, fresh rumors are swirling that even Beyoncé's brand could face questions if prosecutors start digging through certain payments or statements from past associates. All unverified talk, but strong enough to send shockwaves through the industry. This feud has gone from whispers to full-blown speculation warfare, and each new leak turns the spotlight up even brighter. There's zero confirmation on any of these rumors, but the chatter alone is making sponsors jittery. Reporters say people connected to Diddy have been dropping hints like, "It's not about freedom anymore, it's about humiliation." And as those whispers build, the whole power dynamic looks like it's starting to tilt. Jay-Z may still be living comfortably, but that aura of being untouchable isn't shining the same way it used to. Industry veterans are watching all this unfold like a high-stakes chess match between two men who once sat on top of the same empire. Every leaked message, every sudden legal filing, every strategic silence feels like another calculated move on the board. Insiders claim Diddy's alleged cooperation could stretch on for months. Not one giant info dump, but a slow drip of hints and stories meant to keep investigators interested, while he gauges how far he can push things before anyone fires back. It's a quiet, smoldering type of tension, and nobody can tell how much is real strategy and how much is pure bluff meant to shake the room. But one thing is noticeable. Jay-Z's camp has tightened up heavy. Communication shut down, planned appearances quietly canceled, and his team refusing to comment on anything connected to these rumors. That shift alone tells the industry that someone in his circle feels the pressure, even if nothing official has landed on his desk yet. The whole situation is turning into a slow-motion showdown, and every move feels louder than the last. And now comes the biggest fear floating through the industry: the possibility that Diddy has already handed something over. People close to the situation say the FBI has been reviewing what they're calling supplemental material tied to his plea talks, and while officials won't confirm a single name, rumors say those files could mention multiple music executives, including Jay-Z himself. The thought that a friendship once lifted by power, loyalty, and decades of shared wins could end with one man testifying about the other has fans stunned and insiders scrambling for answers. Some people think it's poetic justice. Others think it's the natural outcome of a world built on secrets, money, and survival. If the cooperation deal is real, Jay-Z's name might already be sitting in sealed folders, waiting for official review before the year wraps up. And when those pages open, everything, their history, their alliances, their public image, and the legacy they spent years building, could crack apart overnight. But the one question nobody can shake is the one echoing through studios, boardrooms, and late-night phone calls. Who betrayed who first? Was it loyalty slipping away, or strategy playing out in the shadows until someone made the first move? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think about this wild situation. Was this loyalty lost or survival in motion? Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment so you don't miss the next twist in this storyline. Stay tuned, stay curious, and remember, in this world, nobody's hands stay clean forever.